Hi, everyone. Welcome to our podcast series, All Voices Welcome. Today we will be discussing the topic of cultural perception versus reality. Let's introduce ourselves and our cultural identities first.
Good idea. Maybe I go first. I'm Ifa. I come from China.
My name is Marzena and I'm from Poland.
I am Joanne. I'm from Vietnam.
I'm Holly, and I come from a lot of places like Scotland, Ireland, Britain, and India.
Oh, a lot. Well, we are very lucky that our group all come from different cultures, right?
Yes, all over the world.
Yeah. For our listeners, I think the forum podcast will be like discussing the cultural identity, especially, and maybe we can focus on three topics like education, family, religions.
I really like those topics. I think with those themes, they're so broad, but I think we'll find similarities. So let's start. Who has the first question?
So I have a question. What are our view on education?
Okay. Maybe I go first again. Like many Chinese parents, I'm always value the education, and I believe the hard working will lead to the success, maybe good marks. So I pay more attention to my child's education and I want them to be good grades. I enroll them with all kinds of like extracurriculums such as swimming, skating, soccer, piano, and math. Oh, you can name it. I want them to give them all the opportunities. Sometimes I didn't ask them for if they like it or not. Sorry.
My family values on education are the same as Yifan's. My granddad grew up in India and had to work very hard to become a doctor, and this allowed myself to have a better understanding of my education journey and the importance of a good education. And also, my mom is an elementary school teacher, so I was always surrounded with learning experiences and opportunities.
Young people are financially supported to take education in my country. So take a strong example like me and my elder sister are support financially to be here as an international student.
Yes, education is also very important in Poland. I think that in cultures like a collective, especially cultures, parents they treat the children's education as their own personal success. It's almost like an indicator of their reputation, which makes me think about the cultural differences when it comes to the family, its structure and a role.
Traditionally, the Vietnamese family was an extended family with multiple generations like grandparents, parents, and children, often living together under one roof. This structure ensures mutual support and care for the elderly.
We are very family-oriented culture also in Poland, so it's normal to see grandparents living with their grown-up children, and this reflects our sense of obligation that we have to take care for our parents in the future. So certainly in Poland you won't not see so many retirement homes like here. But now after being in Canada, I think that this is also related to some financial factor.
I feel like I have some similarity with you all, like Marana, but a little bit difference. And also, I'm so even more closer to Charles because in our culture, usually three generations living in the same house, and the grandparents will take care of the granddaughter and the grandson, and when the parents grow older, the child will need to be take care of them, and we take care of the families much.
So we already know I come from so many places, and that means that I relate to all of you. But the main ones are definitely multi-generational families living and respecting for elders. So thank you all for sharing your views on education. And I'd like to take a moment now to touch on our experiences as ECEs working in the field. What have you experienced? What have you noticed? What did you learn? Yifan, do you want to start?
Sure. I'm always teaching Mandarin in All Saints High School every Saturday morning. Like previously during the Spring Festival, we always had a big celebration every event we call Kannat Chinese School Spring Festival celebration. But now we realize a lot of Asian company also celebrating this festival. So we changed to the Lunar New Year celebration to be more diverse and inclusive. Charles, since you came from Yunnan, maybe you also celebrate. I think you also celebrate the Lunar New Year, right?
Yeah, and the similarity, I think that people in both culture come home in Lunar New Year. No matter what reason, they all go home to enjoy the long holiday with their family.
Is there any difference between us?
So the difference may be the activity on Lunar New Year Eve. We don't eat dumpling, and then my parents prefer bread because it's convenient.
Oh yeah. I have the.
Oh,
I
I would be
understand.
so guilty of making wrong assumptions, And since we are talking about that, I would like to talk about religion. As I mentioned, in my culture, religion is very important since like 70% of Polish population is actually Christians. But because of that, there is no other visible places of worship. And I had a situation this year, like working in a childcare center. I had a small girl in my group who was wearing a hijab, and it was very hot at that day. She removed the hijab, and I was a little bit confused. I didn't know if she is allowed to remove the hijab. So I asked the other educator if children with hijab are allowed to do that, and she told me like in her case that their parents are very flexible with that.
Similar to you, Marzena, I had an experience where a child's appearance related to their identity, and a change in their appearance can cause assumptions and questions. So I had a boy who came to school in a dress, and all classmates and educators were unsure about how to address the child. To him, wearing the dress wasn't about gender, but about love and admiration, to have connection to his sister. And overall, the assumptions made were false and potentially harmful to the child's well-being.
So in my first placement, I worked with a Muslim family from the Middle East. They spoke Arabic at home, so their child didn't understand English and couldn't communicate with educator or his friends. The educator tried to communicate with the parent, but they didn't understand, and the parent weren't able to tell the educator what was happening at home. There was a language barrier.
I've had experience with families and language barriers as well, and it can be challenging, but it is easy to communicate with the help of a translator source.
You mean the Google Translate?
Oh no, that can be
no.
wrong.
Do you know what though? That can be helpful for a quick form of communication, but overall, it's good to have a community resource and a translator to have better, effective communication over time.
Yes, we can find ways to have effective communication.
Okay, let's go to the third part, which is the reflection. So for me, through our conversation, I learned that everyone is unique, and every person's culture background shapes how we see the world and approaches the things differently. But we are the educators, so we need to stay open-minded and willing to challenge our own assumptions. And we need to use this as the opportunity to learn from families with different background.
Yes, when working with children, for me, the most important is to support children and their understanding and providing the knowledge that will help children grow beyond intolerance and discrimination. And our examples that we were talking today shows me that it's very hard to prepare for every situation. So for that reason, it's very important to be open-minded and dedicated and to seek answers from different sources involving children's families.
I have learned that having some prior knowledge about culture can help to anticipate potential challenges. However, it's important not to jump to conclusions. Let's say if a cultural practice conflicts with the core value and policy of our center, we have a responsibility to communicate with the parents. The conversation must be cultural relativism, which means to consider the sensitivity of cultural practice.
I really enjoyed this discussion. It highlighted that our identities are unique and have shaped our experiences. During this time, we understood that our diversity does not divide us, but allows us to feel more connected. Overall, we can find connections and similarities, and we can utilize this in our work as early childhood educators.
Okay, then let's bring us to the end of the episode. Thank you for listening to our episode. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.